Hi and welcome to MRTV Meets, a new live show where I meet interesting people from the VR and AR industry. And in this first episode of MRTV Meets, I'm going to meet Marek Antoniuk, who is the CEO of Riftcat. All coming up. Yeah, hi and welcome here to MRTV. My name is Sebastian Ang, and if this is your first time here, and if you're just as excited about VR and AR as I am, then subscribe now and click on the bell button so don't miss anything. Yes, so welcome to MRTV Meets, another live talk show. But other than my talk shows on Saturdays, I'm not going to talk with myself. I'm going to talk with interesting people from the VR and AR industry. And now, today, I'm very happy to have Marek Antoniuk here. Let me welcome Marek, and here it is. Hi Marek, good to see you.
Hi everyone.
Very nice to have you here in the very first episode of MRTV Meet. So for all people who don't know yet what Riftcat is, could you please let everyone know what Riftcat is and what it can do?
So Riftcat is the company that develops vReach technology, and vReach, available at riftcat.com, is a software that lets you turn your phone that you put into a simple Google Cardboard into a PC VR headset like HTC Vive or Oculus Rift. It just streams the visuals from your computer and sends the data back about your head position into the computer, and it works very well. We have a lot of users, and we are continuing to develop the solution to provide easy access for PC VR gaming to as many people as we can.
Cool. So it means you only need like a very cheap cardboard headset and a phone, and of course a computer that probably already can run VR games, and then you can start to play SteamVR games with it. Did I understand that correctly?
Yeah, it's actually slightly changing to a lot of Android headsets, all-in-one headsets coming up like HTC Focus or Oculus Go, and the Reach will work with them as well. But I guess we'll talk about it in a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to talk about it very soon because, well, we have talked actually already before. Right, on another channel on Daydream District, and we talked about probably a year ago or so, and so many things have actually changed, right? Like VR is getting more and more into the limelight, and yeah, now we have these standalone devices, and well, the Oculus Go is super cheap, and lots of people are getting the Oculus Go now, but they find out, hey, actually I'm kind of limited to the games here that are provided in the Oculus Store. Probably they want to play other games. So please tell our viewers, can they use Riftcat in order to play the SteamVR games on the Oculus Go, for example?
Yes and no. I mean, officially we didn't release the vReach for Oculus Go yet, but as far as I know, it's playable. You can upload the APK into the Oculus Go headset and make it work. I believe there is a tutorial video on your channel to how to set things up. But we didn't have time yet to officially implement it, so I cannot guarantee that it's going to work well. But Oculus Go is in a spotlight right now, so it's obvious that we have to release the vReach for Oculus Go. So we'll probably release it in like maybe 2 months at the latest. So
all right, okay,
so we should have much easier setup for Oculus Go now, then.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, exactly. So well, I did it because I was just like interested if it works, since I think lots of people want to know, right? Lots of people want to tinker with the devices and would like to like sideload stuff. So yeah, I tried it, and actually it's not so complicated to sideload your app into the Oculus Go, and then it will work fine. So you just said like you're still working, you're going to work on the Oculus Go version. What do you think is going to be different than the version that I sideloaded into the Oculus Go? Because I sideloaded a version, I found it actually on your support website or so, I found it. Tell us a bit more. What difference is going to be there?
The main issue that is currently right now, like sideloading apps is not that hard, but from the very beginning of VReach development, we were very cautious about user experience and making it very easy to use. So doing sideloading is a bit complicated for non-technical people. And what we would like to do is to get into the Oculus Home store, so people would not have to sideload the app, but simply install it from the marketplace and then work with VReach instantly. That's the first step. The second step is that we would have to check if there is a lot of possibilities for improvements for the headset itself. We could, for example, lower the latency by using the specific SDK tricks that we might find in the Oculus Go. And yeah, that's just a matter of research that our developers would have to take, and we could make the experience flawless on Oculus Go. And right now we just cannot guarantee it because, well, it's it works because it's similar to Gear VR, but we want to provide the better experience, and there is a controller as well.
Yeah, exactly. There's a controller. You mean the Oculus Go controller?
Yeah, and that's why we also want to use the controller, so we could use the HTC Vive wand by using Oculus Go controller.
That would be really good. That would be really good because at the moment, basically, you have to play games that use like the gamepad, for example, on your computer, right?
Yeah.
Or the keyboard. So yeah, you can play games like probably Elite Dangerous or Project Cars, right? These things that don't need like wands.
This is basically the controller support is what we did for HTC Focus headset. So
we'll get to that a bit later.
Yeah, okay. But this is like so much has happened in the last months in VR space that we're very excited to bring what we have plans for the next 2 to 3 months is very exciting for me, and I'm eager to show our users what we will create, and I'm really impatient to release the patches.
Nice. That sounds incredible. Probably you can tell us a bit more about this a bit later. So, but first let's stick to the basics. So yes, people can sideload it right now into the Oculus Go. People can load it onto their cardboard headsets. What about Daydream? Daydream also works, right?
Yeah, Daydream works. It's also a matter of going into the Daydream store. It's also a matter of the controller because Daydream has a controller as well, the Daydream headset. And it's going into the Daydream store, VReach will requires the usage of the controller. So this is the last thing that prevents us from going massively onto all of the stores like Viveport, like Oculus Home and Daydream Store.
Okay, so this is basically the thing that you're excited to share, right? Okay, very, very cool. So tell our viewers how they can get Riftcat and how expensive is it going to be for them?
It's pretty simple. Just go to riftcat.com website. You have to download the desktop application. It's free. The usage of VReach is there is a free version that will let you test everything out, and the setup is pretty straightforward. Everything is explained on a step-by-step basis, and the free version will limit your gameplay to 10 minutes per each game session. After each game, after 10 minutes it will disconnect, and then we'll have to connect again and again and again. And the full version costs €15 or dollars depending on where you're located. If you're in European Union, then you will have to pay €15, and outside of EU you will have $15. And right now we have a birthday promotion, so it's 20% cheaper. So it's the best time to buy VReach.
That's
if you
awesome.
want unlimited experience, this is the best one.
Okay, cool. Very nice. So 15 euros or dollars, and then you can use it for a lifetime, right?
Yeah,
There's no
yeah, it's a
subscription.
one-time payment. All updates come free later.
Okay, cool.
It's
That's not
been the
expensive.
strategy that we had since the very beginning,
Yes.
and well, we believe that's pretty fair.
Yeah, that is really not so expensive, taking into consideration that then you can, yeah, have access to your computer. And actually, yeah, the latency is not so bad. I had actually thought like, oh, probably the latency is like super big, but actually no. I tried it, and it's pretty neat. So, would you recommend people to use to connect the headset or the phone via wire to the computer, or would you say better do it wirelessly?
Mm, it depends. I mean,
Okay.
I prefer cables because I tend to anything I do with computers or anything, I prefer cables because for some reason I feel that they are more reliable.
Yeah, they are.
Uh, but Wi-Fi is a great experience because you don't have any cables around your head and you have very great freedom in VR. So I would recommend using Wi-Fi for people who have 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi
Yes.
network in their home because 2.4 gigahertz network will be artifacting and will be unstable probably. So if you have any problems with Wi-Fi, just connect via USB cable, and that's the best solution if you encounter issues with connectivity. Of course, if you have Gear VR, you cannot connect with USB cable because this is the limitation of the hardware of Gear
Of
VR, and
course.
we cannot work around it.
Of course.
There are some options to make it work via cable with Ethernet cable and using OTG, but that's like more. Um,
Complicated.
yeah, this is what makes VRidge pretty tricky product because at the same time we want to make it very easy to use. We want it to be casual friendly and without much technical hassle, but at the same time some stuff just has to be technical. It just
Well, it's kind
cannot
of
be up.
technical to stream the SteamVR stuff into your mobile phone. Of course, it's not so simple. But well,
Yeah.
actually, I must say that you have very much improved since I checked it last time. I mean, last time was like 1 year ago or so, and now I reinstalled it, ran it, and it felt more seamless. Just click that
So
one.
but I believe you jumped from classic VRidge
Yeah, I
to
think so.
2,
Yeah,
2.0
exactly,
VRidge.
exactly.
Okay.
So now everything is just like, yeah, click the play button and relax and enjoy your Steam VR, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So now recently we had some very exciting developments, and I was very happy for you guys, and also surprised when I recently heard the Vive announcement, which said, okay, the Vive Focus can now also play Steam VR games powered by Riftcat. And I thought like, wow, awesome. How did that happen? That is really like a huge thing for you guys, right?
Yeah, that's a really huge thing for us. It's working with and Vive is basically the major player in VR industry. So cooperating with them is like a huge perk for us. So
Of course.
it was very exciting, and we basically didn't sleep for several nights to make it all work.
Yes, of course.
And as usual, it's been some of well, obviously VRidge is pretty decent software, so that's how we helped our luck. But at the same time, it was just a coincidence that one person from Vive just found us and then contacted us through Twitter and asked us if we could make it work to the event and if we could make it work on the Focus headset. And well, we did. And
Wow.
because it's when we made VRidge 2.0, we already thought that all-in-one headsets will become the next big thing in VR. And that's why we have introduced the PC side design. As you probably realized, there was not many things that you could do on your phone. When you connected, you could just see the lobby, and the only interaction that you could get with your phone was the tapping the screen to recenter the position. But otherwise, everything is controlled from the PC side.
Exactly.
And this is why we made it to easily deploy the all-in-one headsets. No matter how do you control them, if you have it in the cardboard or if you have a controller or anything, you just simply we consider the Android side to be just a display, and everything is controlled on the PC. So this allowed us to create a consistent experience across HTC Focus, Oculus Go, and many other headsets that will probably come up. So that's why sideloading it to Oculus Go, even without our intervention, is now doable.
Yeah,
so
that's why
so that was a pretty nice call. And well, what we had to do was add controller support for Focus. We had to do some tricks to fix some stuff and increase the performance to fulfill the 75 hertz of the screen. And many technical issues that we had to fix, but we did it, and well, we are very happy with the cooperation. We are going to right now we have like 2 different versions working right now. There is a special client for Focus, but we want to merge them together and keep the experience consistent. So if you have Vive for the phone or Vive for Focus, you can just have one Riftcat client installed on your PC and connect with both devices without issues.
Okay, cool. Yeah, well, the Vive Focus partnership is a huge thing, really, to play with the biggest player in the VR industry. It's like fantastic. So I'm wondering, will it be like installed by default if I buy a Vive Focus? Is it going to be there, or do I have to still download it? Do you have details already? How it's going to go down?
We didn't decide any specific of that kind. I mean, Vive for Focus is still beta, so they do not pre-install our software. But it's pretty easy to find it on the Viveport store. You just type Vive and it's there.
Sure.
So just install the app. It's like 20 megabytes or something like that, and it's installed on your headset. And then everything is the same as with normal Android version. You just download the desktop app, and it's working. And who knows what's going to happen in the next year or two. It depends how the cooperation will go. But I don't have many details yet. It's
okay.
just...
it was very spontaneous. It sounded like you guys had to scramble like crazy to make this happen.
Yeah, it's that's why we have 2 separate clients, because there's so many duct tape solutions there that we have to. That's why I don't have many details on cooperation yet, as we have time to just, we were in a hurry for the event, and now we just have to stabilize the patient, that our code to make it work well.
Very nice. So I'm very interested in the Vive Focus Riftcat combination. So I'm wondering, the Vive Focus, as we know, is a 6 degrees of freedom headset. Now, now when you use Riftcat on it, will the 6 degrees of freedom persist? Do you still have 6 degrees of freedom? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So also in SteamVR, you will have 6 degrees of freedom movement.
Yeah.
Cool.
Actually, when we launched it for the first time, the headset itself has great tracking. I mean, Vive Focus is just top-notch hardware. I mean, its tracking is great. And we had an API to support controller's position and everything of that kind. If there is any developer that would like to create something for Riftcat, for Vive, for SteamVR that would support, that would, for example, the additional controller or something, they could use our API and it would work great. And we had it ready, so we could use it to add positional tracking. And when we added it and launched SteamVR games, we realized that we can basically go into the hole and run in a straight line through Wi-Fi, and we would have a completely wireless experience with endless running. We could basically run until we had a Wi-Fi range. And the tracking is very precise. It works very great, really great. And I would say that it's not a big difference between using Vive with Focus and comparing it to HTC Vive, the normal HTC Vive. So
oh, really?
It's
what? That's crazy, man.
It's just a matter of good sensors, good positional tracking of the headset itself.
Wow.
There was not really there is not really some magic that we did. It's just HTC did a tremendous job with this headset. It's really great.
Okay, yeah, well, I would like to try it out. If you could just let them know that they should send one unit over to me, that would be incredible.
Maybe they're watching this interview, so
oh, that would be great.
Send one headset.
Yeah, please send one headset to me, and I will definitely test it and give it a thorough test with everything involved. Yeah, so wow, you say that the Vive Focus together with Riftcat is as good as the SGC Vive. That is incredible. But how about lag? There must be quite some lag introduced, or not?
There is. Well, maybe I was too hyped up, but I mean, it's we have the usual jitter problem.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
Happens in the Focus headset, and this is what we are working on. And this is another thing that I'm excited to reveal soon.
Okay.
And that basically we are working on something that will fix the jitter once and for all.
Wow, that would be great, because that was actually my big problem. Everything was fine. Latency, still a bit latency, I felt via wireless, but the jitter problem was bigger.
Yeah, and this is what I can't say much because it's early in development and I cannot estimate how much it will take. I mean, it will happen, but I cannot estimate how much time will it take because it's early in development and it's hard to estimate anything as the whole V-Rig project is just one big research project when we don't really know what the outcome will be. We have some hypotheses and we just try it out.
Okay.
But I can assure you that we will, with the patch 2.2, it's going to be a huge improvement to Riftcat.
Nice, looking forward to that. So when is that 2.2 version coming out then?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Let's go the Blizzard Entertainment way soon.
Soon. Okay. Great. Yeah, so because this is a live chat, this is happening now, this interview. Actually, I looked at the chat, I looked at the MRTV Discord server and the YouTube chat, and there are quite some questions. And the one question that everybody wants to know is about the controller of the Vive Focus. So you will have one controller with the Vive Focus, right? But this controller is a 3 degrees of freedom controller. Can you still use it with Riftcat and when playing SteamVR games?
Yeah, I mean, when we tried it out, I thought that it's going to be a huge problem because it's 3D off. So what happened is that when you have positional tracking on your head, the controller follows you nicely. So basically, if you want to reach for something, you just slightly move your head and the controller will go forward. So in the end, it's I would say that the bigger issue is that you don't have two controllers than that it's not the 6DoF controller. I mean, I was able to do everything with this controller, even if it was 3 degrees of freedom. Okay. And it's really hard to describe. I mean, it becomes at a certain moment it becomes so natural that you don't have this 6 degrees of freedom, just 3 degrees of freedom, but you can do basically everything. You can swing, you can just stab, you can do anything. It's just the biggest issue is probably the long stabbing motion that you have to like, move your head to move your head to.
Got it, but probably. Got it.
You have to do like this. So,
so when you wanna grab forward or stab, you just always have to move together with it.
Yeah.
So if I want to stab somebody, I just hold it like this and run into the opponent.
Yeah, something like that. But it's I was able to we were able to play Beat Saber with it.
But only the one-handed mode though.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'm actually not sure if I can discuss too much of the details about the cooperation with.
Okay, sure. No problem.
But okay, I tell it's a secret. Well,
Okay.
we are talking about.
We'll tell nobody about it.
Okay, we're with them about how it would improve the experience if there were two hand controllers in the headset.
Oh yeah, of course.
If it's going to end with the two controllers in the headset, I'm not sure. I don't know because we're talking.
Yeah, okay. This is the secret, everybody. The Vive Focus will have two controllers, and that was just leaked by Marek, the CEO of Riftcat.
Maybe it will have controllers, but it would really improve the experience because most of the PC VR games were designed with two controllers in mind. But 3 degrees of freedom, not a problem. If if there is a positional tracking,
it's gone.
Okay.
Now we're back. We're back again. Yeah, this is live, guys. This is live. CEO of Riftcat here. Yeah. Okay. So you say two controllers in 3 degrees of freedom would still be better than one, and who knows, probably at one point in time.
And when we will introduce the controller for Gear VR and the HTC Focus at the same time, and Daydream controller, there will be no problem to make other controllers 3 degrees of freedom work. I mean, there is a lot of very inexpensive.
Okay.
That could be an alternative to a more expensive. So
I totally see where you're getting at, because yeah, actually I do have some of those 3 degrees of freedom Daydream controllers, which are not originally from Google but from somewhere in China. So like Hippie Watt or what else, and they are not expensive. They're not expensive at all. Probably you can get them for $10 now from Alibaba and just send them over.
Exactly.
So
exactly. This is what we're thinking. Of course, their quality might vary. For now we are sticking to the solutions that are more sure. I mean,
of course,
Focus controller is well made. It's high quality plastic and all that kind of stuff, which helps us work with it to have stable results. But we want Riftcat to be a very approachable and very affordable solution for virtual reality. So we will work with everything that is the most available to users, so they could enjoy VR as a whole experience.
Cool, very cool. So the 2.2 version will already have that controller support for Daydream and GVR and Vive Focus, or when is it going to come?
If not in this patch, then in the next one for sure.
Okay, nice. Great. And then I'm wondering, some people asked in the chat, the Vive Focus also has this new 6 degrees of freedom mode, where in software they will track the 3 degrees of freedom controller. Is that something that you're also looking into?
To be honest, we didn't get much details about it yet.
Okay.
So I cannot really, we couldn't try it, so I don't have much to say about it. But what we thought that we could use it for is that there is a limited amount of physical buttons on the controller. So we could, for example, free one of the buttons for more important actions that could be used by the user, and move for example, the system button to the gesture recognition or something like that. But it's just the vague ideas that we have, but we couldn't try it yet, so we'll have to wait for more details.
Okay, got it. I think that would be really interesting, right? If you could like somehow use that normal 3 degrees of freedom controller in order to have 6 degrees of freedom. Well, anyways, we'll have to see what's going to happen with it. So tell us a bit more about Riftcat and where are you going with Riftcat? Because, well, at one point in time, probably everything is going to be 6 degrees of freedom anyways, and probably everything is going to be, every device will be able to access SteamVR through some cloud or what, you know. So could you let us know what you think about these kind of developments?
Well, as you said, if SteamVR is going to go through the cloud and all that kind of stuff, someone has to stream it.
Okay, good.
And it's going to be us. I
yeah,
mean,
all right, that's true.
it's hard to predict what's gonna happen. I mean, VR industry is very it's changing a lot. I mean, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, everything was different. We have some plans. We want to bring everything I just described today to the public. We want to make all plans that we have, the long-term plans and everything. And then we will probably think what we're going to do next, if we're going to somehow like bring the scale up by doing some cloud solution or doing some additional software products to VRidge. I'm not really sure what we plan to do, what we are going to do in a year or two. I mean, we have development schedule filled for a year ahead, so that's basically what we're going to do.
Good. Yeah, also I believe that all the research that you're doing now, for example, in terms of jitter, you will have some awesome patents probably that you can use for that streaming future, right? When everybody streams VR from the cloud into their devices. So probably that is something awesome if you are now the leader in this kind of technology, right?
Yeah, that's like doing such a cloud solution would require a huge partner, and well, we want to be the best PC VR streamer on the market. So if there will be a big industry VR player, then they would say, okay, let's go for Riftcat. It's the best company to do so.
Yeah, just like Vive now did, right? They were thinking like, how can we do that? How can we put SteamVR onto our Vive? And you know, I think it's so interesting that they didn't come up with their own solution because, well, they are very well connected with Valve, right? So that they instead of doing it themselves went to you is incredible.
Yeah, it's one reason is that it's not easy to find people very specialized, and our people who work with VRidge are very specialized in terms of technicalities. Another thing is we have a lot of experience working with a lot of hardware. I mean, we've had so many users with so many different Android phones, with so many different PC setups. It's not something that you could fix by throwing money at it. You can have hundreds of developers, but you won't be able to try out so many setups. And that's one of the reasons that that it's not so easy to copy our technology.
Cool. Yeah, that is really cool. And now I just had one more question about the Vive Focus. So I'm wondering if people buy the Vive Focus and they want to use Riftcat, is Vive going to pay the license to you, or do they have to buy the Riftcat license?
It's going to work the standard way. I mean, VRidge is now simply an application on HTC Focus, and you have to go to Riftcat.com. And as we always had, our license is tied to your Riftcat account, so you basically
can use it on any device.
Yeah, and so it's not tied to your HTC Focus; it's tied to your desktop app, to your Riftcat account. So you will buy Riftcat, but who knows? Maybe they will say, okay, we want it to be the basic experience of HTC Focus, and we'll come with something.
All right. Cool. Yeah, very interesting. I think it's like a super interesting development. And I'm really happy that you had the time to tell everybody about it. But before we stop this, I would still like to know if there is anybody from the community who has any question for Marek, because, well, this is live, this is happening right now. So if anyone has a question for Marek now you can ask it. I'm going to read it here on the YouTube chat and on the MRTV Discord server. And if you have, then I'm going to read it out. So while people are thinking about a question, I just want to know, Marek, this has nothing to do now with your business, probably also later. What is your opinion about the Magic Leap 1?
Oh, I actually saw some newsletter emails, but I didn't dig into it. I mean, Leap Motion became such a hype from the investment perspective that I stopped really caring about it. I mean, for me it sounds a bit like, maybe I'm too harsh on them, but it sounds a little bit like they know how to raise funds, but the product will be disappointment.
Okay.
I mean, they've raised so much money that to be honest, anything they will reveal and anything they will sell will be a disappointment because of this huge disparity between how many products do they have and how much funds did they raise. But who knows? Maybe, well, AR technology is really interesting, but it has to be really well done. In terms of AR core, for example, software solution is like AR core is not really that great. I mean, it's slow because there is a lot of processing going on, so the result is not that great. But when you have a good hardware that can do all the algorithms on a hardware basis, then it might be very, very interesting. But it depends how will they execute. I mean, the design that I saw on Magic Leap looks a bit like, I don't know how to say it. I'm not sure that people will want to wear it in public.
No.
So people think about them in a strange way, but who knows? I actually think that, well, it's up to them what is going to happen. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to convince people to wear something like that. Google Glass didn't make it, so who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, they have the live stream later today, I think actually very soon. So let's see what they're going to reveal. And yeah, who knows? I agree with you. Actually, they are so overhyped, right? And also in terms of the funding, I mean, unbelievable how much funding they have. So I'm not sure. Yeah, how this is going to turn out. Well, we will see. Okay, good. Yeah, I think that's really everything now that we have, Marek.
Okay.
And
questions. Oh,
yeah, there were some questions, but I couldn't really understand them. Yeah, probably probably you understand the question, but I didn't really get it. Are you going to add computer vision to your app so that you could eventually track 3 degrees of freedom controllers? Oh yeah, that was the question that I had before already, right? If you're also going to somehow do the tracking of the 3DoF controller by computer vision.
Okay, so
you said no, right?
By processing the image from the camera to allow the controller to work. It's we want to work, but it's a low priority for now. We want to add a positional tracking for normal Google Cardboard that would work on a color recognition basis.
Okay,
but
that would be cool.
This is just a vague idea somewhere on our chalkboard, just written. But the problem with that is that it includes a lot of tinkering. You would have to print something, you would have to glue something on your headset. This is what we want to avoid. We want our users to just have their phone, install the app, and it works. Same for any headset and anything. So any do-it-yourself solutions are welcomed, but we are trying not to focus on them too much. We want to make the what we did for this is we added support for FreePi protocols, so
yes.
It's easy for anyone who wants to tinker with their headset and then their VR solution. They can easily add necessary support for such controllers or head tracking without us modifying anything. Because if we would go for so many different solutions that we are being proposed, they are telling us to use IR LEDs, to use the color recognition, the image recognition, the R core tracking, etc., and we wouldn't have time to develop all of it. So it's better if we just enable it to work with Riftcat on some standard that is widely available, so everyone could. support, or not support. I mean, I'm lacking the word to contribute to how V-Reach works, and well, have a nice setup.
Got it. And we have one more question from Brandon. And Brandon asked, not sure if this has been answered yet, but will Riftcat use less PC resources than an actual PC VR headset?
It will depend on the headset phone used.
Okay.
Because it's a matter. V-Reach uses the main requirement for the VR in terms of PC is that the game has requirements.
Yeah,
the game
of course.
has the higher requirements, the higher resolution it has, the higher refresh rate it has. So if you will have a phone with 60 Hz screen, so it will have to render the game at 60 FPS, and it will be full HD, it's going to have lower requirements than, for example, HTC Vive. But in terms of V-Reach, how it works, it really doesn't use that much of PC power. So if your PC can handle the VR game, it will handle V-Reach, and it will handle the streaming and all that stuff. And V-Reach doesn't really increase the requirements or decrease it. It's a matter of the hardware used.
Got it. Cool.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there? Yeah, we're both here. Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yes.
Are you there?
I'm here. Hello. Can you see me? Yeah, you can see me, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, okay. I think, and we have one more question, but I think we have answered already. Are there any plans for Riftcat for the Magic Leap?
Or the Magic Leap? If we'll know how exactly does it work, then maybe.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, V-Reach is a VR solution, while Magic Leap is a AR solution. So yes. I don't really think that there is a connection between us. But who knows? Maybe.
Who knows what happens?
We can actually stream two Magic Leap headsets. So, for example, some transparent visuals or anything. It's just.
Who knows?
We could have plenty of ideas, but for now we are staying in our space, and we'll see. Maybe Magic Leap will become the next big thing, like smartphones became, and it will be too tempting to pass on Magic Leap. So maybe we will then move into this space. But for now we are staying in VR. We have a lot of stuff to do yet, so
yeah.
So we are going to continue here.
Cool, perfect. Yeah, I think that's it for the questions. So I just have to say thank you so much for your time, and I think you're working on something very exciting. And for all of you who have not yet checked out Riftcat VR Rig, please do it on riftcat.com. Thank you so much, Marek, for this interview, and we will stay in touch.
In touch. See ya.
Bye-bye. All right. So this was my live interview with Marek Antoniuk, the CEO of Riftcat. I think that was a very cool live session here. I very much enjoyed it. And also, probably you have felt that this stream was a bit more fluid than the others in terms of FPS and so on. And because I have upgraded the computer. I'm now using the VR computer that I'm normally using for VR in order to stream. So now the streams should be much more smoother with a steady refresh rate, and that is of course much better. Yes, great. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, my dear friends. And now I think it is time for us to get into the Magic Leap mood and find out what Magic Leap is going to tell us. And then of course later today, we're going to see us for the MRTV daily news, and then probably I'm going to let you know some Magic Leap news. But for today, definitely check out riftcat.com. I think Riftcat, they are based in Poland. They're a super interesting startup and definitely worth watching. So thank you so much for watching MRTV Meets, the first episode. If you have any idea who I could interview in the future live, because the live part is so exciting, I think. If you have any ideas who to interview in the future, please do let me know in the comment section. And if you want to be interviewed by me, yeah, you can also let me know. Probably we can set something up for the next episode of MRTV Meets. And that's it for this show. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If yes, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you've not yet subscribed to MRTV yet, you should absolutely do that now. And that's it. Looking forward to see you in the next episode.